Mother-in-law! You entered our side of the house again, didn't you? Just because it's a multi-generational house and you can enter our side of the house by the stairs, which aren't locked, doesn't mean you can just enter without our permission. Oh, and please give me back the dress you took from my room. Huh? Are you accusing me of theft? But I would never do such a thing. Besides, it's not fit for a married woman to wear such a luxurious wine-red dress in the first place. A married woman needs to wear clothes that are less revealing and straightforward. Mother-in-law? But I haven't told you yet which dress was taken from my room. How do you know that it was that dress that went missing? Huh? As you already know, I'm a fashion designer, which means that I also have a ton of clothes. I've got at least 30 dresses, I think, yet you described the dress that suddenly disappeared from my wardrobe precisely. You do know that that's basically the same as admitting you took it without my permission, right? Well, I just happened to guess correctly which dress you were talking about. I see. So you had some sort of superpower you didn't tell me about? Should I hire some sort of magazine that deals with the supernatural to interview you or something? You see, I know someone who works for such a magazine, so I could make it happen. I mean, you do like standing out, don't you? Fine. You want me to give it back to you, right? I'll bring it to you later. Thank you. Give it back to me by today. Do you have a problem with that? But I was planning on wearing it to the theater tomorrow since I was going with some friends. But I never gave you permission to wear it in the first place. Besides, that dress wouldn't fit you. But I can't trust you, so give it back to me right now. Fine. You really are such a disrespectful wife. I'm your mother-in-law, so you need to show me a bit more respect. Says the person that just stole my dress. Honestly, I'm amazed at how you can still say something like that after being caught. Hello, Polly. I've been thinking since our last conversation. I've decided that you need to quit your job. Huh? I was looking at my phone since it was my lunch break when I saw you texted me. What is it that you want now? You see, I thought about it carefully and realized that the reason you were so disrespectful to me, even though you're just my son's wife, is because you work in such a flashy place as the fashion industry. A normal wife would be satisfied wearing a sweatshirt and some jeans and maybe even an apron. But aren't you a wife yourself? But it looks like you've got a collection of quite the flashy clothes as well. It's fine if it's me who does it. Besides, both my sons, Alvaro and Leon, are interested in fashion and work in the fashion industry. It would be embarrassing for them if their mother wasn't a stylish woman fluent in fashion, which is why it's fine if I do it. Okay, but by your logic, shouldn't the wife also be fluent in fashion? No, of course not. Especially not someone like you. As your mother-in-law, I am your superior, which means that while I'm allowed to wear luxurious clothes, you aren't. Fashion is only going to be a nuisance in your education as my son's wife. Huh? My education as your son's wife? I'm sorry, but I don't remember asking you for such an education. It doesn't matter whether you asked me for it or not. As my son's wife, you need to undergo this training, otherwise I'm going to make the two of you get divorced. What I'm trying to say is that I'm going to be kind enough to train you as this house's housewife from now on. And part of this training is going to sleep on our side of the house from now on. Oh, and don't forget to turn in your letter of resignation to your workplace today before going home, all right? You make me laugh. What makes you think that you have the authority to make me do that? You're going to make the two of us get divorced, huh? Well, good luck with that, because I doubt Alvaro is going to listen to you as well. Huh? What's with that tone of voice? I'm your mother-in-law, and you have no right to speak to me like that. Apologize to me right now or else. I need to go and meet some clients after I eat my lunch, so goodbye. I don't have time to put up with your nonsense. You're saying this is nonsense? I'm not going to forgive you insulting me, your mother-in-law, like this. I was thinking about starting your training for real from tomorrow, but I guess I'm going to have to change my plans. I'm going to start training you as a housewife starting today. Get ready for when you come home. Polly! I was wondering why you wouldn't come home yesterday. But I went to see the garage this morning and it looks like you came home late at night. You're so pathetic sneaking around like this. I know that you don't want to undergo my training, but you're going to go that far to avoid it? I'm going to see you right now. Jesus, and to think I told you that I would begin your training as a housewife starting yesterday. Just what is the meaning of this? You're sleeping in longer than when you worked at your office. Although this means that you did listen to me and quit your job, I guess. I'll be a bit less strict on you for doing that. Thankfully, I brought a bucket of cold water, though, because I thought you might not want to get up. I made your bed wet as well, but I'm sure that bucket of cold water woke you up, didn't it? It's a good thing your bed got wet, I guess, because now you won't be able to go back to bed. Oh, I came up with a good idea. I'm going to wake you up like this every day now. I mean, it's the perfect way to start a day of housewife training, don't you think? All right, it's decided then. I'm going to dump a bucket of cold water on you every day now to wake you up. What? Mother-in-law. What in the world are you talking about? Come now, hurry up and come to the kitchen on our side of the house. I'll start with teaching you how to cook because of the food you make is terrible. But I had somewhere to go yesterday, so I stayed at a hotel. I never came home last night, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Huh? Wait, so you didn't listen to me and resign after all? And what do you mean you had to go somewhere? Don't tell me, but are you cheating on Alvaro? Jesus, I knew you were an incompetent housewife, but to think that you would go so far as to cheat on my son? I need to tell him about this right away. What? No, I had to go on a business trip to meet some clients. I flew to Sicily right after the conversation we had yesterday afternoon, and I'm currently staying at a business hotel. Huh? You went on a business trip to Sicily? What? Didn't I tell you this already? What are you talking about, Polly? But your car is in the garage and... I didn't use the car yesterday and I left it in the garage. What? Yeah, but you always sleep in the room next to the living room on your side of the house, right? You were in bed when I came to check on you. If you weren't home last night, then who was that person sleeping in your bed? That must have been Leon. What? Leon? Why would he be sleeping there? I heard that Alvaro and Leon both don't have work today. Alvaro told me that Leon was going to sleep on our side of the house since the two of them were going to play video games. What? Oh, and he asked me whether it was all right if Leon used my bed. I wasn't going to be home yesterday anyways, so I said it was all right. So the person I threw a bucket of water on was... It was probably Leon, but... Shouldn't you go back to my room and check who you threw a bucket of cold water on yourself? Hold on, did you seriously just throw a bucket of cold water on someone and leave before they could even see who it was? But there was no way it was Leon. Polly, there's a family emergency and you still haven't come home? This is your fault, Polly. Could you please not make this my fault? I never asked to have a bucket of cold water thrown on me, even though it was actually Leon you did that to. And I never asked to undergo this housewife training of yours in the first place as well. I already told you that that was a requirement if you were going to live in our house, didn't I? Besides, this is your fault because if you had quit your job just like I told you to and agreed to my housewife training, I would have been the one who had the bucket of cold water poured on them this morning and not Leon. Is that what you're trying to say? What makes you think that dumping a bucket of cold water on me would have been any better? But it was supposed to be a part of your housewife training. Unlike Leon, you wouldn't have had the right to get mad at me. Instead, though... Huh? Who do you think I am, your slave or something? By the way, Leon just called me earlier and apologized for your actions, you know. Huh? Yes, he said he was going to resign because of this. Huh? What in the world are you talking about? What does me making a mistake and dumping a bucket of cold water on him have anything to do with him resigning from his job? Well, his mother-in-law did just try and dump a bucket of cold water on the CEO of the company he works for. What? The CEO? If I was in his position, I think I would also feel responsible for this. Polly, what do you mean I tried to dump a bucket of cold water on the CEO of the company he works for? Well, I don't think there's any point in hiding it from you anymore, so I'll tell you. I haven't told you about it until now since Leon and Alvaro didn't want me to. What in the world are you talking about? Stop talking and just tell me. You seriously can't guess the truth for yourself based on what I already told you? You see, I'm actually the CEO of the fashion company that Leon and Alvaro work for. You're what? Why didn't you tell me something this important until now? You see, Leon and Alvaro came to me before me and Alvaro got married and told me that it was probably a good idea to keep it a secret from you. They thought that, judging by your personality, there was a high possibility that if you found out that I had a higher rank at the company than the two of them, you would start bullying me. But at the end of the day, it looks like there wasn't any point, since you started bullying me regardless. And even tried to make me quit my job so I could undergo your housewife training. You even went so far as to try and dump a bucket of cold water on me this morning? Leon saw his mother's foolish actions and was so shocked that he told me by phone call that he was going to resign. He said that he was too ashamed at his mother's actions to continue working at my company. But all I was trying to do was train you as this house's housewife. What's so wrong about that? It's your fault for being so disrespectful to me, even though I'm your superior. Huh? So you seriously think that what you did was perfectly normal? First of all, I don't plan on becoming a housewife, and even if I did, I would never ask for this housewife training of yours. And second of all, I don't think that what you had in mind for me was training, but rather you making me do the housework for you. Anyways, Leon's not actually going to be quitting. Of course, Leon is a highly competent employee, and so him quitting would be a huge blow to the company. Which is why I convinced him to stay at the company. Oh, is that so? Good on you for not letting him quit. I guess I just panicked for no reason then. Yes. But Leon is a hard-working and honest person, so there's no way he's just going to pretend like nothing ever happened. I doubt things are just going to go back to normal, mother-in-law. You went a bit too far this time. Huh? What in the world are you talking about? What do you mean things aren't going to go back to normal? It's the same for my husband Alvaro as well. He's not just going to pretend that you didn't do anything wrong. Huh? Seriously, what are you talking about, Polly? What do you mean Alvaro as well? It seems that the two of them are going to have a discussion with you and your husband tonight at your side of the house. Please listen to what they have to tell you. Huh? Just what is going on here? Are you in some sort of plan with the three of them or something? Like I said, just listen to what they're going to tell you tonight. Well then, I'll be staying at this hotel in Sicily tonight as well. Goodbye. Polly! Please do something about this. Stop my sons from doing this. I'm sure they'll listen to you if you tell them that this was all just a big misunderstanding. Oh, you're talking about the discussion you had with them yesterday, right? Wait, hold on. Are you seriously trying to ask me for help right now? After everything that you did to me? What makes you think that I would want to help you? But of course you have to help me because I'm your mother-in-law and I'm telling you to. At this rate, the whole family is going to fall apart. Leon says that he doesn't want the girlfriend he's currently going out with to get bullied like you were by me, which is why he was going to go by his wife's last name and live with her family instead. And Alvaro said that he's going to be moving out with you by the end of this month. Well, I guess that was only to be expected, don't you think? Honestly, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner. Not only that, but even my husband as well. He said that he's going to get divorced with me. Why? What did I do to him? Yes, I already heard about it from Alvaro. I was honestly a bit surprised to hear that your husband was going to divorce you, but I think that it can't be helped, I guess. He must have finally lost patience with you after having to live with you for so long. Why? What did I do to make him lose patience? But I was the perfect housewife. Can't you figure it out on your own? I can't! We got along so well as family up until now. Are you sure that's the case? I only heard about this from Leon and Alvaro, so I can't really say much, but apparently you were quite the difficult mother growing up. Have you ever thought about whether you've been fulfilling your role as a wife and mother in this house? Yes! Everything I did was perfect up until now. I see. So that's what you were thinking. Even when faced with the truth, you still say things like that without hesitation. You see, what Alvaro told me is that you barely did any housework and made your husband do most of it, even though you didn't have a job. Despite that, though, you kept acting like the master of the house and kept telling everyone else how to live their lives. Huh? What in the world are you talking about? I would never do such a thing. Never mind. And if I say this to you, you're just going to reject it, so I won't even bother trying to explain it to you anymore. Huh? What even is that? Who do you think you are, even? Tell me why my son and husband are doing this to me. I know. You fed them some of your lies and made them do this, didn't you? You snake. Tell my son and husband that you were the one who was wrong all along and not me. Or else. It looks like words alone won't be able to change your mind. I'm not going to talk to you about this any further, since I think it would be for your own sake if you thought about this for yourself. Huh? We're going to be moving out soon, and I don't have any intention of visiting your side of the house anymore. Hold on. Fine, I get it. I'll forgive you for being so disrespectful to me until now, so tell my sons and husband to stop this madness. Oh, and I promise I'll be nice to you from now on, so please don't move out of the house. But isn't that your problem, mother-in-law? This is why your son and husband are fed up with you, I think. Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean my son and husband are fed up with me? Well, this is a bit early, but farewell, mother-in-law. What? Polly! I'll give you anything you want, so please just tell my family that they're making a big deal out of nothing. I don't want to be left alone. I'm already in my 60s, Polly. You can't just do this to an old woman. You should have thought about that earlier. Goodbye, mother-in-law. After that, Alvaro and I moved out without saying a single word to my mother-in-law. According to my husband, my mother-in-law was an example of a woman that was raised in a wealthy family and ended up being selfish and arrogant, expecting everyone to treat her like a princess. She must have been quite the mother to make her own son say something like that. And I unconsciously felt bad for Alvaro considering the difficult childhood he must have had. A few weeks after Alvaro and I moved out, Alvaro's parents got divorced. My former mother-in-law moved to her parents' mansion in the neighboring prefecture. which was currently occupied by her brother's family, but apparently she was told by her brother, "Aren't you a bit too old to come home like this?" She now lives with her brother's family, being avoided and given cold looks from them, and is no longer as arrogant as she once was. My brother-in-law Leon decided to get married after his parents got divorced. Apparently my former mother-in-law only found out about this after the marriage, and now cries to herself in her room while being avoided by everyone around her.
Oh my god, Lynn, I can't believe you just did that. How can you be so horrible?
I'm the one who's horrible? Have you looked in the mirror lately, homewrecker?
For the last time, I'm not a homewrecker. And yeah, you're the horrible one considering you just decided to try and have a go at me during my husband's funeral. I mean, even on such a sad and emotional day, where we should be remembering a wonderful man, you'd rather yell and scream about his will and who gets his money? If there's anyone who is cold-hearted and just downright nasty, it's you.
Says the woman who stole my husband away from me. We were happy before you came along. Then you just had to steal his attention and take him for yourself. You didn't care if you were destroying a family. As long as you got your hands on Andrew, you were happy. And don't think I don't know why you were so desperate to be with him. I know you were just after his money. And how convenient that, now that he's gone, you'll be able to have all of his wealth to yourself. Or at least, that's what you think.
I don't know where you get off accusing me like this, but it's not true in the slightest. I loved Andrew with all of my heart and he loved me too. I wasn't interested in his money. He could have been broke and I still would have loved him. You were the one who was obsessed with his money. It was the main reason he left you. You were never happy with him and what he did for you, always wanting him to spend more or take you to more lavish places. He got sick and tired of never being able to live up to your expectations and your constant demands. That's why he left you. I didn't meet him until he had actually separated from you.
We were still technically married. He had literally only been separated for like a month.
He had no plans on getting back together with you. I'm sorry, but it's true. We fell in love shortly after we met. But I wouldn't have gotten involved with him if he had still been in a relationship. But he had ended that relationship with you.
Only because you got in the way. We would have gotten back together if you hadn't been there. And as for the money, you don't deserve anything. It's a good job that his will still leaves everything to me.
Don't you hear yourself? Only interested in his will. It doesn't even matter. I've seen his will before, when he was rewriting it, and it didn't mention you.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
What do you mean?
I know my husband, and he wouldn't have left me with nothing. In fact, I know he's left me pretty much everything in his will, as we wrote it together, and that includes the house, which leads me to this. I want you to move out of my house by the end of the day.
Excuse you?
My house. I want you to move out. It's only fair. You took my husband from me, so I have the house. It's what I'm owed for the heartache that both he and you put me through.
Hang on. You already got half of everything that he had in the divorce. You're not owed anything else, especially not the house. Andrew and I built our life up there. It was our home. Nothing to do with you.
It doesn't matter. It's mine now, and I want to move into it as soon as possible. I've always thought that it was a nice place to live.
You can't do this.
I can, actually. The will leaves everything to me.
I'll be having a talk with the attorney to see about that.
Feel free to do that. You'll only be disappointed.
Pierce, have you had time to have a look at Andrew's will properly? It's just, I think Lynn and her attorney are trying to do something. I don't know, not quite right. It just seems quite fishy.
Hey Haley, I'm so sorry for your loss, and I want you to know that I'm here for you, okay?
Thanks, Pierce.
As for the will, it all seems in order. I'm sorry to say, however, there is one little discrepancy that I'm currently still looking into, so I'll have to get back to you on that. Hopefully it won't take too long, maybe a day or so, but because the will is still in contention, it should be okay. Lynn won't be able to access it until all of this is cleared up.
That's good. I just can't believe it's come to this, though. I was sure that the will Andrew made had left nothing to Lynn. I don't care if it goes to me or not. He could have left all of his money to a charity and I wouldn't care. I just don't want it to go to that horrible, money-grabbling ex of his.
Don't worry, I'm looking into this as thoroughly as I can. There's just something that's not quite right about this whole thing, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. You can count on that.
What do you think is so weird about the will?
Well, it's the way it's worded. It all seems a bit too good to be true. Too much like a professional has done it. I mean, I know attorneys write up people's wills all the time, but they don't usually put in a bunch of fancy words and stuff for no reason. But this one has all of that. It's almost like whoever wrote this did it subconsciously, meaning that they wrote like this every day. Only people like me, attorneys, really do that.
What? So you're saying that Lynn's attorney might have tampered with the will? Or even forged a new one?
It's possible.
Well, come to think of it, when I saw the will, I thought that the signature on the bottom of it looked quite strange. It didn't look quite like Andrew's. I just couldn't be sure as it had a lot of similarities to his usual signature. I just thought that perhaps he had done it quickly because he might have been rushing or something.
His signature? I'll have to have a look at that.
Thank you for doing this, Pierce. I can't believe that I'm having to try and sort all of this out when my husband's only just passed away. All I want to do is take the time to mourn properly, but Lynn just isn't letting me do that.
I'm sorry. Hopefully we can get this all sorted out soon and you'll be able to put her out of your mind and life.
Hopefully.
I'll message you if I find anything suspicious.
Okay, thanks.
Oi, Haley. I hope you're not getting too comfortable. You might have stopped me from taking the house for now, but that's not going to last long. Once the judge sees the will, he'll rule in my favor, and then you're out of there.
Why are you so horrible, Lynn? I mean, was it not enough that you drove your husband away? Now you've got to bother me and make an already difficult time even worse?
Oh, don't pretend to be upset. We both know you only got together with Andrew for the money. I mean, I did the same thing. Only he decided that he wanted to go and leave me to be with you. But if you think for 1 second that I'm just going to sit back and watch you take all of the money that I deserve, then you're sadly mistaken.
You might have only been with Andrew for his money, but that's not true for me. I loved him, and I'm going to make sure that none of his belongings or money go to you. He wouldn't have wanted that to happen.
You can try whatever you like. Nothing's going to change the fact that I'm going to win, and you're going to end up penniless on the streets.
I wouldn't get so cocky if I were you. Things might not go how you want them to.
What do you mean? Haley, tell me what you mean right now.
You'll see.
Haley, I swear, answer your phone right now. You gold-digging she-devil. How dare you?
Oh, hello, Lynn.
Don't give me that. How dare you steal my money?
Well, as the judge ruled, it isn't your money.
Yes, it is. The documents you showed him were fakes. You don't deserve the money. It's mine. So give it to me, now.
The documents that I gave the judge weren't fakes at all. Actually, you know that they weren't, as the documents you provided were fakes.
I don't know what you're on about.
Actually, you do. I knew that you were up to something as soon as I saw that phony will. I must admit, it was very well written. It almost had my attorney fooled. But there was just one thing that made it quite obvious that it was fake.
Well, what was that then? Not that I'm admitting to anything, but if something was wrong with the will, what was it?
You're so obvious it's actually painful to watch. If you must know, it was the signature.
What? The signature was perfect. I know it was.
Actually, it was almost perfect. But I know my husband's handwriting. I mean, I lived with him for over 20 years. I've signed many cards, papers, and little love notes with him. So if I wasn't able to notice the subtle differences with the signature, I'd be ashamed of myself.
But
Once I pointed that out, Pierce went over all the old documents that Andrew had once signed and checked all of the signatures. Sure enough, there were subtle differences which proved that the signature was false.
well, that can't be right. My attorney made sure everything was in order.
Yeah, about that. Once we discovered that your version of the will was fake, Pierce decided to look into that attorney of yours. Turns out, he has a pretty impressive track record.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently, for the last few years, your attorney has come into a lot of money. Coincidentally, it has all come from the families who he has done the wills for. After a little bit of digging, we found out that he has been forging wills for people in exchange for a percentage of the inheritance.
Oh, no. Well, I never knew that. If I had, I never would have hired him.
Uh-huh. Sure you wouldn't. But there's nothing to worry about now. He has been arrested for forgery and is looking at a little bit of jail time. The police are just looking into those who helped him now. Hopefully, they'll be brought to justice soon.
What? But surely they don't actually have any idea about who could have been involved, right?
After they have a look through all the wills he's worked on in the last few years, they will know exactly who he worked with. So it looks like your time is running out, Lynn.
Ugh, you witch. I haven't done anything wrong. I deserve that money. Not you. I was his wife first. You're just some horrible homewrecker.
And you're a vile shrew. Thankfully, you'll be getting what you deserve soon enough.
I hate you. What have you even done with the money? You don't even need it.
I've kept a little for myself to help tide me over, but the majority I've given to different charities. They need it more than I do.
Ugh, why would you do that? If you didn't want the money anyway, why not just give it to me? You're so selfish.
Actually, I think you'll find that giving to charity is the opposite of selfish, not that you would know.
Just you wait. I'll get you back.
I don't think you can do that from jail. Anyway, I've got things to do now. Goodbye, Lynn. Good luck in jail.
Stop saying that. I'm not going to jail. Haley.
Just like I had thought, Lynn was found to have tampered with Andrew's will along with her attorney. This is a major crime, and she was sent to prison for a few months and forced to pay a hefty fine. I was finally able to mourn my husband properly once all of the drama had been sorted. And whilst I missed him every day, I'm happy in the knowledge that his money was put to good use and not given to someone as horrible and selfish as his ex-wife. Treasure those that you love, and remember it's the time you spend with them that is important, not any money or inheritance that you might get once they're gone.